Good morning and welcome to yet another UC Links International Conference. Yeah. The theme of our conference this year is Engaging Change, Transformative Links to Learning. And I wanted to say just a few words about that before we get into logistics and other kinds of things. When we talk about engaging change, first of all, when we talk about engaging, some people have trouble with the word engagement or the term engaging. And I just want to take a moment to problematize that term, to talk about engaging with others in the way that we in the Links community generally talk about it. Engaging for me, and I think for many of you, involves encountering difference. It involves confronting the unfamiliar, facing the other, and and being willing to grapple with difficulty and challenges with others toward common goals. UC Links is a collaborative activity. It's a collaborative venture among us all, and it's collaborative both locally between our university and community partners and school partners, and it's collaborative across sites. It's collaborative at a network level, at both a statewide and international level. We're all kind of communicating on the listserv. We're all learning from each other as we go, and so a lot of what we'll be doing in the next 2 days is talking about what are we learning from each other, what more can we learn from each other. I want to talk about change for a second. Change has many meanings, but in almost every language, the word change implies a kind of exchange. In Spanish, cambio is not only the change that we go through, but it's also the change we have in our pockets, and it's the change that we go through together. In ancient Greek, the word for change is metabolē. It's where we get the word metabolism or metabolic, and it really implies changes that the body goes through to establish balance and resilience, not in the state of remaining the same or of the status quo, but always in the sense of being a means for development, for growth, and for transformation. So literally, metabolē is a combination of the words meta and balo, which together mean to be thrown beyond or to throw oneself beyond. So change is a process in which we engage with each other and allow ourselves to be thrown beyond what's familiar and what's comfortable, and to move forward together, not as a collective and not simply as separate individuals. So I wanted to talk, when we talk about transformative links to learning, I wanted to talk about what do we mean by university community links? What are the links that we have, both locally and collectively? What are the links that we have that allow us to connect beyond our comfort zones and enabling us to be thrown beyond ourselves and to become transformed in the process, both ourselves and the children we're working with, and the undergraduates we're working with, and the graduate students we're working with, and the community people who we're working with, and ourselves. How do we engage with this change? And there's a lot of changes that are happening all the time, especially since about 2016, right? So I wanted to just kind of raise some questions about change and how we might go about engaging with change for the next couple of days. And these questions have to do with how we ourselves become transformed, and how we transform each other, and how we, in that engagement with each other, how we enable others to be transformed. So here are some questions that came to me. The first one is, and you can. I'm going to ask you this, and I'd like you to answer me. Give 2 or 3 answers. We're going to audio record this this conference, and we'll share that with you after the conference. And I just wanted to ask these questions and have you give me 2 or 3 answers. And if somebody will write them down as we hear them, that would be really great. And then we'll have the audio recording as well. So the first question that I would like to ask is, what are the changes that we have witnessed over the years that we've been working together? What are the changes that we have witnessed? There's lots of different kinds of changes that we've encountered. Anybody can kind of jump in. I wanted this to be an interactive kind of introduction, not simply me standing up here and pontificating. We'll start with Sue.
I can just say quickly about the site where I've been since 2003, El Sol Academy. When we started, it was just this little tiny school. It was unique in that it was the only charter school that did dual language immersion, Spanish and English. But it was small. The offices were in a tiny little dated Victorian house, and there was maybe 5 trailers in the backyard. And now the school takes up the entire city block and then some. There's a wellness center. There's a little El Mercado that's a darling little grocery store that serves people who are nutritionally serviced with food. We're part of something that is extraordinary in that it's we're developing a center for arts and culture to serve the spiritual and community needs for, and it's just been extremely transformative. I mean, it's physically
fantastic. Thank
intellectually.
You. Thank you, Sue. There was someone over here. Yes, you had a question or a comment? Somebody? Tom? Okay, we'll get to you.
From what Sue said, that's kind of like the positive change where you're kind of like development is, for lack of a better word, kicking ass change. And I'd like us to do more of that, because I think like what we're doing is, if you think about all the Trump nonsense going on now, we have over 30 years of, doing the right thing. And I think we ought to keep doing the right thing like Sue's doing, at least until the next UC Links conference.
Yeah. So far I've heard we're transforming the schools that we're working in. We're transforming the organizations that we're working in. We're being part of the transformation of the communities that we're working in. Anything else? Carla, did you have something?
I actually just wanted to ask what the question was because I missed it.
Oh, okay. The question is, what are the changes that we have witnessed? Just very briefly.
Oh, okay. So the changes that we've witnessed this past year is we now have a connection with UCSD again, and we are very grateful to UC Links for that. And I'm also a student at UCSD now. Thank you very much for that. So we're bringing that to our students and our programs.
So that's kind of going with one of the things I wanted to talk about is being the change that we want to make. What Gandhi said a long time ago, be the change you want to make. And so Carla is being the change, kind of transforming herself in the process of working with La Clase Maica. I can say just very briefly that I too am in the process of being the change that's taking place. I'm going to retire on July 1st, and that's going to make some changes in how we work. Mara will still be here. We'll still keep going strong, and I'll still be around. You can pester me from time to time if you want to, but I'm also being part of the change that's happening in UC Link. So let's go on to the next question. What are the changes that we have helped make happen? And there's layers and layers of changes we could talk about. Yeah, Richard.
Okay, to start with, one of the, I think, most important, I don't need this, but okay. One of the most important contributions I think we have made is to alter the expectations of the university culture about how it connects to community and how it brings its academic mission so that it is aligned with our communities in a way that is upfront more. So, with a university system that supposedly, in many ways is the best in the world in terms of research, attention to who we are in terms of the communities we serve has tended to take a back stop kind of thing. It's kind of like an afterthought. So we have helped contribute to that awareness of involvement of our communities.
I think that's very true, and we came in as a kind of renegade program in 1996, and people didn't know what to think of us, and a number of people in the hierarchy of the university say, what are we doing this for? And I think we've moved beyond that point now, and especially with the president's office. With key people in the president's office, we're now accepted as a key strategy for connecting with the community, engaging with the community, for engaging faculty in the communities around our campuses, and for engaging students in the work of the community. So yes, I think that kind of transformation is very definitely happening. One more question. What are the changes that we are now expecting to happen, that we anticipate in the near future and in the longer term? And these are all questions that I just wanted to touch on some of these questions right now, but these are all questions that we'll be pursuing in the course of the next 2 days. So what are the changes that we anticipate? Tom?
I think this field of engaged research is either like taking off now or it's already taken off, and there's a lot of things we can tap into in terms of going forward. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
Okay, I think that's enough to get us going, to get us started. I think what we'll be doing in the next couple of days is engaging with change and looking at these transformative links to learning, both among the kids we're working with, among the undergraduates and graduate students that are involved in our programs, among our community partners, and I consider the university and the community partners as partners and not really separate anymore. I think it's really important as we engage with the community. This is a term that is very commonplace in the university. How do we engage with the community? I think what we've done in UC Links is to make connection, to make links with people around us and become the community rather than acting on the community. We are together becoming a new expanded community, collaboratively learning from each other. And so I think in the next 2 days, what I'd like to see us do is to engage with change, not so much in the way of coming up with the answers that we have to all the challenges that we face and the issues that we're confronting around us, but to engage with change in the way of fine-tuning and sharing and focusing and sharpening our questioning among each other. I want to mention a few logistical items. As I said, we're going to be doing an audio recording of this conference, and so that'll be available after a few days, or a few weeks. Yeah, Mara's going to get that done, in a couple of days. So, few weeks, guys. Pending. Let's say it's pending. It's coming. It's on the way. The check is in the mail. There are restrooms. Just so you'll know, there are restrooms. If you go out to the atrium and take a left, and then across from the security desk, you make a left, and that's where the restrooms are. So,
Charles, can we also just point out if you didn't already?
Okay, yeah, the conference materials, all the different conference materials for the workshops, for the different panels and so on, can be found at this URL. And you're welcome to tweet your reactions at this tweeting station. Birdhouse, what do you call it? So tweet away. Okay, so let's see, what else is on my... So we're going to be talking about cross-site collaboration. We're going to be talking about the changes that will be happening with UCOP. I'm just bringing these up right now, but we'll discuss these in the next 2 days. There's also an effort called Regenerating Cultural Historical Activity Theory that Mike Cole has started in the last year, and we want to make sure that all of us links people are connected to that new movement to regenerate cultural historical activity theory. You're all welcome to join in that activity. So I'm going to abbreviate my comments for the sake of time. I want to just say one thing, a word of extreme gratitude to Mara Mahmood, who has done amazing work in pulling the conference together. Mara has a family emergency that's happening as we speak, and she may have to leave in the course of the day. So I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge all the great work that she's done and is doing to make this event a success and to keep this community kind of engaged and changing. And so thank you, Mara. One final thing. Sorry? I'm sorry. It's always a team effort, but there are always kind of key players on the team, and Mara is our cleanup hitter. So I want to plug a few books that have come out. First of all, and I don't have time to read any from this, but we have here a number of books that Sue Cron Miller has put together of the poems that by the third, fourth, and fifth graders have at El Sol Academy have written in her program El Sol Conexión, and so this book is called The Journey Work of Stars: The Poets of El Sol, and edited by Sue Cron Miller. We'll have copies, and we'll have a display table with some of these books around there. Also want to mention Marjorie Oriana's new book, Mindful Ethnography, Mind, Heart, and Activity for Transformative Social Research. This is about her work with her program at UCLA, the Bruin Club, and we have people from there, and I hope, Ananda over there has multiple copies of these that you can, and they'll be on the display table as well. So take a look at these new publications coming out for UC Links. I also want to plug a book by this guy. This book is called Mythos and Voice: Displacement, Learning, and Agency in Odysseus' World. This is a very different kind of take on the work that we do, and looking at the Odyssey as an exemplar of lifelong learning. So I came out with this book about a year ago, and so we're plugging these three books. If any of the rest of you have books coming out, let us know, and we'll plug them during the next 2 days. But these will be on the display table somewhere in these two rooms, and feel free to peruse them, and we'll get you flyers, digital flyers that will enable you to get them at a discount.